a good time with that. In 25:22, there I will meet with you, and I will impart to you from above the cover, from between the two cherubim. And that's only a small section of 25:22. So according to this part of the Parsha, God is explaining to Moses that God will speak to Moses and thus the people from the Mishkan, specifically between the two cherubs. Although God is theoretically everywhere, the Israelites needed assurance of God's constant accessibility and availability. They accomplished this by constructing an earthly residence for God. The thinking probably was, with God in their midst in an earthly shrine, God's power to protect the people and provide for their well-being would be guaranteed. It is helpful to remember that behind this mass of really arcane details in the Parsha lies a yearning for God's presence in an attempt to establish a relationship somehow between this divine immanence and divine transcendence. In other words, between God's ability to be right here, right now, and everywhere at the same time. In essence, I think what is really being said in this Parsha is, make a holy place so I can dwell inside you. Let's really be in relationship. I think we're being encouraged to see if we can create a space in our hearts that can be a mishkan for us, a place of true freedom, where we can confront our fears, be realistic, and enjoy expansive thinking. I learned from Rabbi Josh Figleson that the Maggid of Kotznitz offers a beautiful interpretation of God's words in the Parsha. And the Maggid says, when you serve me purely according to my essence that flows through you, then my dwelling place will be literally within you. So with this as background, I'm going to invite you to join me in a brief guided meditation, or maybe not so brief. So sitting in a relaxed yet alert position, with feet flat on the floor, and take a couple of nice cleansing breaths to really help our bodies settle. Inhaling fully and exhaling completely. So bring your attention to your breath. And now breathe naturally. And keeping your attention on your breath. And imagine the breath entering directly into your heart and expanding your heart space. And so with each breath, allow that heart space to expand even a little bit more, if you can. Notice how that feels. And paying attention to this breath into the heart space. See if you can locate the very center of that space. And try to imagine that you are breathing in and out of that center. And now imagine the Mishkan, however you picture it, sitting at the center of your heart. The Parsha describes the Mishkan as having these two golden cherubs on either side. So maybe you can bring them in. The Parsha also describes beautifully embroidered textiles adorning the Mishkan. And continue breathing. And continue picturing that Mishkan in your heart center. And now, if you're able, imagine that spot right between the two cherubs. That's the holy place where maybe you can listen for divine guidance. Maybe that's the place where your intuition emanates from. That still small voice deep within, right in your Mishkan. So I invite you to settle there. And if you're looking for guidance right now, see if you can have a conversation with that holy space. And if you're not in need of particular guidance right now, see if you can rest in that holy space. And now I invite you to deepen your breath and begin to bring your attention into your body, maybe feeling your feet on the floor, other points of contact where you're sitting. And slowly and gently moving your fingers and your toes if you'd like. And taking your time, coming back to the room, and knowing as you do so that anytime you want to, you can recreate your own personal Mishkan. And I am turning off the recording